first day of the historic Sex Abuse Summit at the Vatican has ended, and now we are just hours away from the second. So far, the big headline here, Catholic Church leaders admitting to years of covering up clergy sexual abuse. My co-anchor Bill Baeza live in Vatican City covering this unprecedented summit. He joins us live now with a wrap-up of day one. Bill?
Yeah, Dominique, good morning from Rome, where it's already Friday. The first day of the summit had these bishops watching video testimony of the survivors. You'll hear them describe it as painful to watch, but one of their most important duties. They also said the Pope had presented them with 21 reflection points.
I think we need to have ownership. I think this is the more important aspect of our being together.
The organizers of this summit for the protection of minors are holding daily press briefings on their progress. Survivors were asked to submit video testimony, and the most dramatic cases were selected for the world's Catholic Church leaders to watch.
But I was far more moved by what I heard this morning than I expected to be. I was surprised at the way tears, as it were, welled up. It's not that I hadn't heard these voices before. I have.
The Pope has asked the bishops to prepare what he called pathways of care for those injured by abuse. The traditional care has been counseling and millions of dollars in financial settlements.
Bill Baeza from KPRC in Houston. Bishop Zakluna, you talked about the leaders of the church taking ownership of what's happened to these victims. But in a sense, the entire Catholic community takes ownership. Financial settlements have been paid, reparations have been paid, and millions more will follow. In what spirit should Catholic congregants continue to tithe, understanding that a portion of their tithe will go to these financial settlements?
I think that you're talking about also a question of accountability. That is, we owe it to our communities to do the right thing, and prevention is of the essence, because otherwise it's going to be continuous hemorrhage.
As the bishops formulate strategies, Pope Francis has called for them to inform civil authorities of abuse allegations and to be open with news reporters investigating allegations of abuse. This in stark contrast to the code of secrecy followed by church leaders who for decades protected abusive priests, moving them from one diocese to another where the abuse often continued.
And accountability is the focus of day 2 of the summit. The Pope wants, as I said, civil authorities to be notified first and immediately, with any possible church penalties to follow that. Dominique, Keith?
Bill, when you asked the bishop at the press conference today about church donations being used for financial settlements, have you heard complaints about that previously?
Yeah, Dominique, in fact, that's why I asked the question, because I had heard from parishioners in Houston that they are now earmarking their tithes, their donations to the church. They don't want their donations to be used for financial settlements and reparations. Their thinking is, I didn't make this happen, and I don't want my money to go to settlements for crimes that priests committed.
Well, it was a poignant question to ask. Bill, thank you, and we look forward to your next report coming up tonight at 10 o'clock. Our coverage of this historic summit extends to our website. We've got Bill's blog there, a timeline of the abuse crisis in the Catholic Church, and much, much more. You'll find it at click2houston.com/Catholic Church.